up, everyone? Marc Lobliner, CEO, MTS Nutrition, Chief Marketing Officer, TigerFitness.com. We brought back the machine shirts, our best-selling shirts ever. Multiple colors. Check it out. This is our Tiger Dry material, our custom patented material that we have. So these fit amazing and they'll never fade. They're perfect. Anyway, today we are going to talk about celebrity supplement brands and my issues with them. Now, back in the day, they did it legit. Lobliner, Gaspari, those brands were on point. Those were real companies. At one point, I don't know what Loblina's at. I know that Gaspari got up to like $78 million in sales. Real company, real warehouse, real building, real employees, sales staff, all of that amazing things. Now with social media, you have the advent of the influencer, and under influencers, when they're not representing other brands. Now, I run companies that have great influencers, right? Like with Ambrosia, we have multiple, like from Bounty Tank to all these great ambassadors of the brand, excuse me, that do an amazing job. But what happens is, what'll happen is one of these private label manufacturing companies will be like, hey, you don't need to work for anybody else. We're just going to take our stock product and slap your label on it. And there you go. That's what happens. Now, that's one route of how they do it. Another route is they go with one of the rogue smaller manufacturers, right? Now, there are these guys, these smaller manufacturers that do not follow GMPs, that are not NSF accredited, that do not have any of that going on, that can do smaller production runs. Now, let me give you an example. Now, to do a run of protein, when I just do one flavor, let's say peanut butter cookies and cream, it cost me well over $100,000. That's for one flavor. $100,000 just for a small run. That's like a 30-something day supply, right? So a lot of these manufacturers, the really big good ones like Armada, like those guys, like those big Valentine, dude, their minimums usually add up to between 50 and 150,000. And that's the minimum. So for these guys who just want to start out, the cost of entry, if you're doing it correct, if you're following the GMPs, if you're following the NSFs, you're doing all that, the cost of entry is at minimum $50,000. That's just to run the product. Then you got to look at insurance. You got to look at actual inventory. You got to look at label, which is going to be over your inventory because you have to print the labels. You're going to have extra in stock for 2 to 3 runs. You got to look at the bottles. There's a bottle shortage. There's like a 28 to 35 week lead time on most bottles in this industry. For example, I don't have one on me right now, but if you look at Ambrosia's custom bottles, custom lids, that took us months to get in. And we have to order enough so we don't run out. God forbid there's a supply chain issue. One thing I've noticed, and I've tried to help some influencers with their brands, is number one, they run a small amount. And because they run a small amount, we've tested it and it doesn't come out. Like we've had the new manufacturers test these products and they don't come out on point. And another thing is if they're using these small non-FDA, non-GMP compliant labs, they're not following any of the GMP guidelines. So the issue is you have these people who are just pretty much putting product out there to make money. They're not formulating. They don't have lawyers on staff to make sure that their claims are legit. They're not using a manufacturer who's getting audited and who's actually keeping things, kosher, so to speak, keeping things FDA compliant. People are like, oh, the supplement industry is unregulated. I saw that in my comment section. Actually, it is regulated. When you use a GMP or an FDA registered facility, the FDA will make surprise inspections. And that's how they catch these manufacturers and they give them these checklists and they give them these warnings. We are regulated. The supplement industry is regulated. They do regulate these manufacturers. They regulate. And the FDA will be in your facility for a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, just making your life hell, going through every bit of paperwork, making sure that all of the checks are done. And you can look at this, like we've done videos on this with Armada, who's located right up here in Spring Hill, Tennessee. Armada is one of the best there is. We are regulated, 100%. Now, who's not regulated are the people who do not follow FDA guidelines. I'm not saying that every influencer does this. Another phenom is that the influencers who have their brands, they might not even own it. They might own an inconsequential 1%, 2%. It's not their brand though. It's not their brand. Like you look at my businesses, every one of my partners is involved in the brand and has direct ownership in the brand. From Chris Jones at Pump Chasers, Brandon Curry is 50% partner in 015 Nutrition. Obviously, Sean, me, and Mike are partners in Ambrosia. And you guys think, well, Mark, you're an influencer. No, I'm not. I started Scivation in 2004. I worked at InStone from 2003. That was before social media. At the end of the day, I am simply a businessman who has a YouTube channel. I'm not an influencer. I don't influence. I'm not a doctor. What I am is a guy who formulates. I formulate and I run businesses. And I also have a group of people that I consult with, that I employ, that are very well versed in formulations, that help me, that provide me with guidance when I don't know everything. Now, I will say I can flavor like a mofo, and I make the greatest protein bar ever. But, I run every formula by people who are extremely intelligent. For example, when we redid Clash, right? Like, we're working on, maybe we should add some theanine in there. And I'm like, well, maybe we should go 200 milligrams. And then one of my close colleagues was like, Mark, I don't think that's a good idea. I think you should lower the dose, and here's why. And I'm like, oh, I didn't think about that, because there's other ingredients that work with it. So what happens is these guys put their name on a label. Look at Brad Castleberry, right? Brad Castleberry, he has his own brand, whatever, Dingleberry Nutrition, right? And then you find out that he went broke because how do you get screwed out of your own brand? The reason is he didn't own any of that. They simply licensed his name. And thank God the good man Jack Owak employed him and saved him with a Bang sponsorship. Jack's a great guy. He's a very, very misunderstood guy. Jack Owak's good people. But at the end of the day, man, these people don't own their own brands most of the time. You go, oh, it's such and such's company. And you're like, no, it's not. It's not. And I know these companies, and I know the ownerships, and no, they're not always. Now, there are some really good influencer brands out there, and I'm not going to list the good and the bad because I don't want to get sued. But the main problem is I'm not mad at the big companies or the larger individuals who work with these influencers and they put out good product, but they just use their likeness. I think that's awesome. I think that's a great thing. I think that's phenomenal marketing. What really, really gets my goat is when they don't know safety and they just throw these rinky-dink, potentially dangerous formulas on the market. And another thing you have to realize, if they can't afford a 100,000 bottle run or $100,000 run of product, right? Are they insured, right? Like, are they insured? Now, a brand like Ghost, who's in GNC and Vitamin Shop, they got amazing insurance. They got the partnerships with Sour Patch Kids and all that stuff. And Dan is a great guy. I can't say enough good things about Ghost. What a good brand. What a good brand. But he's fully insured. But if you look at these rinky-dink influencer brands, if they don't have insurance, that's a problem. That's a problem. So you have to look at, when evaluating a company, you have to be vigilant of the formulas. And it sucks, but if you have a product, and for example, I went over a pre-workout the other day, and there's 25 milligrams of yohimbine in it, you might say, well, that might be a lot of yohimbine. Or if there's too many stimulants, it just looks like they have no idea how these things work synergistically with one another. And they just kitchen sink it together. You got to wonder, I don't know. Well, just because basically what they do is they'll take like 10 different pre-workouts, right? And they'll throw in every ingredient they have in all 10 of those pre-workouts. That's absurd. That's absurd. So what I have, and it's a lot better than it used to be. You guys got to realize, like when it was ephedrine and pro hormones, the cost of entry was a few $1,000s. You go to a rinky-dink manufacturer, they're off-grid anyway because you can't get pro hormones made in an NSF lab, right? You go there and it's easy. It's a pill. It's M1T or Superdrol, whatever. You go, hey, I just want Superdrol with my label on it. Boom, done. And the manufacturer's not going to say no. He already has 4 million bottles made up, slaps your label on it. You pay a premium for it. You resell it for double the cost. Boom, millions of dollars. I never did that. I've always prided myself on making products that I am not afraid to take, that I am not afraid for my kids to take, except for like I don't want my kids taking pre-workouts and test boosters. But look, man, I got safety and efficacy studies on all these ingredients. A lot of them have their GRAS status, generally recognized as safe status. So, I mean, look, we can all make money. Like, we just had, a large company's CEO. He's going to do federal time because they literally sold steroids on the supplement market. I could have done that. I could have made a ton of money doing that. It's not really that difficult, but I didn't. And number one is because I do believe I have an ethical sphere around me, right? Like, I want to be ethical. I don't want, when I die, and hopefully it's not anytime soon, no one's going to remember me because I had a Rolls Royce or a Bentley or a Bugatti. They're not going to remember my big house in Brentwood. What they're going to remember is what I did and the legacy I left behind. And I don't want my legacy to be selling dirty products. I want my legacy to be helping people. I want people to remember me for giving my time to coach kids. I want my legacy to be helping people lose weight, to prevent getting sick, to prevent dying. My legacy doesn't need to be how much money I make. Now, money I make is a byproduct of the blood, sweat, and tears I put into my formulas and my work. And the fact that even though I have multiple companies underneath my belt right now, underneath my umbrella, I handle every single sale. Now, Ambrosia is different. Sean does a lot of that as well. But if it's MTS, if it's 015, it's outright, if it's whatever, right? Any brand, I am the only sales guy other than Matt, who handles our inside sales. But if we're closing a deal on the bars, if I'm meeting with Walmart or Sam's Club, which by the way is very close to closing, if I'm meeting with Target or Vitamin Shop, that's me. I don't have a sales team. I handle everything myself because no one can talk about the brand's mission and message like I can. So I want you to be really vigilant on what brands you trust. Okay? That's why, and again, I have nothing but love for Cali. Nothing but love for Cali Muscle. And this isn't about his brand, because I actually think his brand is made in a very upstanding facility. I do not question the quality of his products manufacturing. Not at all. The formulas, again, my word on formulation is not the final word. I have my opinions. Other people have their opinions. I go by science and I go by sense. Science and sense. Science and sense. But I'm not going to sit here and tell you that this is better, this is better. Now, obviously, in my opinion, my formulas are the greatest in the world. But it should be, because I made them and they're my formulas. Just like I think my kids are the greatest in the world because they're my kids. They came from my balls. My formulas, while they don't come from my balls, they come from my heart and my brain. And I stand behind them 100%. Look, man, I just want you guys to be safe. I want you guys to get results. And supplements are awesome. Supplements are awesome. I got a message on Twitter today of a guy who's been taking what I've been recommending all throughout this pandemic, and he literally got sniffles. Sniffles! Because I've done all this work and research on antiviral replication supplements. We just launched Ambrosia Vita. So things are awesome. And that's why I do this, because I want people to reach their goals. I don't need to be on YouTube. I don't need to be here. I'd rather spend my time coaching my kids and programming for them. That's what I love. That's what I do. But I'm here because I love you guys. I fucking love you motherfuckers. I really do. If I could somehow get the people who dislike me on this platform to just sit down and have a cup of coffee with me, okay? Just sit down and talk to me. You will understand that I fucking love this shit. I fucking love you motherfuckers. I love you so much. I've dedicated my life to helping people reach their goals, to helping people stay healthy. And now my next step is I'm going to help kids reach their goals. I'm going to help kids get D1 scholarships. And beyond that, I'm going to help them get the confidence and get the work ethic it takes to crush it in life and live out their fucking dreams. That's what I'm here for. I swear on everything holy, everything sacred, on my children's lives, on my life, on everything that means anything to me, man. Man, I love this. And I love helping people reach their goals. And the reason I went so hard on Callie, which by the way, I'm going to talk to him tomorrow. He reached out, or today, is because I take it seriously. If someone says that all protein powders are garbage and all pre-workouts are garbage, I have the right to defend my life's work. Period. The end. Guys, I appreciate you watching. Really happy about it. I have these in like 5 colors. The machine shirts. They'll be launching on Black Friday. These are so awesome. I'm so excited about them. And they're not just regular shirts. These are the Tiger Dry material. Look at this. Like, this is our own brand. It's our own brand. We got them custom made. Took us years to figure it out. Anyway, guys, thanks so much for watching. I'm Marc Lobliner. Love, love, love you guys. And again, if you guys need any of these supplements, well, you know, brother's got to pay his bills. Like this video, subscribe to this channel, click on the notification bell, share this with your friends. That's not a game. The best booster isn't a shot. It's your natural immune system. Every time we step out into the world, we are attacked by viruses that do their best to break down our defenses. Vita helps solve this problem. Vita contains proven antiviral replication supplements and Imulina to ensure that your body is primed to defend itself against foreign invaders. Don't go another day unprotected. Get your Vita today.